Hi, everyone. Today we're talking about tracking data efficiently. So we've talked about many steps of the development life cycle so far, ranging from identifying the problem to understanding it, to ideating on it, to building the right team, and many steps in between. But it's really important as you get to the point of near release, or even as you start releasing your product to limited populations and testing with them, that you're tracking the right data to help you understand, are you actually validating your hypothesis or invalidating it? I've seen many different examples where teams have, built a great feature, that so they think they've released it in a good amount of time. They've, quickly kind of gotten to a minimum viable product, but then they didn't put in the analytics tracking to ultimately help them decide, was this successful or not? Ultimately, those teams had to go back, add, certain tools, add, ways to collect data after the fact, and then they had to wait even longer to ultimately decide, was this successful or was this not, kind of jeopardizing their whole development cycle. So, start to think about what data you want to track. This lesson will help you figure out the ways to track that data, the types of data you should track, and help you understand what types of data are actually helpful for validating your hypotheses and which ones are not so helpful. So that'll be the topic today. Really excited about this. My background before I got into product management was analytics. So I worked as an analyst at a couple companies in very different technologies, very different industries. So have a lot of experience here. And then pretty much every company I've worked for as a product manager has been a pretty data intensive company. It was either their business primarily or they leveraged lots of data in order to make decisions. So an exciting topic, one that I'm passionate about and have quite a bit of experience in over the last 8 or so years. So jumping right in, now you're kind of feeling it, right? The product manager is this hybrid of so many different personalities, right? We talked about in a few lessons ago, the product manager as a salesman, right? Pitching your idea, your problem that you're trying to solve to the team, pitching it to the leadership, pitching it to stakeholders. That's when you're a salesman. You're part creative. So I've written a lot about product managers stepping into the world of design. Wireframing, right? We talked about those before, coming up with white concepts that can help the team understand what you're wanting to build, can help the designers understand what to improve on, what to design, can help customers understand what you're trying to do, even when it's very low fidelity. You're definitely a part-time team builder. We spent a whole lesson on this, right? And how even though the product manager doesn't decide exactly who's on the team, they have a lot of influence over that fact. And it's important for them also to understand who is on their team, the personalities, the motivations, very, very important. Part-time motivator, no surprise there. You are kind of the motivator of the team. You're an evangelist of the product. You're motivating the team. You're motivating the company in many, many different ways. And you're a full-time decision maker, right? We've talked about this in prior sessions, especially the one on ideation, how ultimately it is the product manager's responsibility to make the decision of the path forward. They're not trying to build consensus. It's not a majority vote. It ultimately is the product manager making the decision of where we go, and how we get there is helped by the engineering team, but the prioritization rests with the product manager. So all of those things are a lot for a product manager to manage, but there is one more thing, right? They need to be a very strong analyst. In the past, maybe product managers could have gotten away with not having a ton of data skills. The stakes weren't as high in the realm of data. There wasn't as much data anyway. It wasn't as competitive as it is today, where you really need, as a product manager, a lot of data to help make your decisions better. So, what I say is you kind of need to be dangerous with data. This doesn't mean you need to be the best analyst in your company by any means. If you have an analytics team, great. If you have a data science team, amazing. You can definitely lean on those people for a lot of help, but you should know the right questions to ask about data. You should know the right data to go look for. Even if someone else is actually doing the querying, you should know what types of data can help make your product decisions better. So, kind of today's product manager, regardless of startup, mature company, regardless of industry, or if they're a junior product manager or a very senior product manager, you just have to acknowledge that data is so important. Tracking data on your product performance is basically essential. You can't get by without it anymore. So in today's lesson, we're going to get a lot into the type of data you should be tracking, what you should be looking for in that data, even some of the tools that you can use to make this part of your job a little bit easier. So again, really excited about this topic, and every product manager needs to be a great analyst these days.